Cards and Dice TV, and this is Fall Classic Baseball Fast Action Card Tutorial. I'm going to grab 3 cards from the website fallclassicbaseball.com, and just want to go over some of the features of the cards and how I use the cards, but also how you can use the cards and how I've used the cards in the past. And there's no particular reason why I use the cards the way I do. It's just that's the way that it ended up being. I played it and I felt a rhythm and I said, okay, this is a cool way to go with it, and that's the way I use it. When I started out a little different, and sometimes I'll deviate. You know, sometimes I'll break up the kind of monotony, the day-to-day monotony of doing it the same way, and I'll just kind of stimulate my curiosity, my interest, my focus, because you know when you change things up you got to be a little bit more focused on what's happening, and I'll do it a little bit different. But let's start off by looking at the set of numbers on the top, and you have the result of the D36, right? The 2D6, and you read the one color ahead of the other color. Like if it's a red and a white, you read the red first, kind of like APA. So that's the element of APA that's in the game, the D36. So if you're an APA guy, you're going to feel extremely comfortable with this game, because you're going to be like, oh yeah, I get this. This is cool. All right. So that's one thing that is attractive about this game, but obviously it's nothing like APA. It's totally different. And so here you have your, now some guys, there's so many different ways of doing this. This number 1 would be the roll for the card, where you can check the card, right? And you could use the number 1 on every card you pull. So the first one is 23. That could be a strikeout. It could be some sort of an out. It could be something else, but usually it's one of those. All right, so you pull that. So the first guy's out. Second guy, you pull another card, and it's a 35. Now that could be a base hit. That's a possibility depending on what kind of stuff the pitcher has, or it could be an out. All right, it could be a ground out, anything. And then you pull a third card, and again you look in column 1. 66. Now that could be potentially a home run, or it could be a double. All right, depends on the player. Now, so those are, let's say those are 3 outs. The next time you start, right, you go through the first inning that way. You go for the team on the top of the first, and then on the bottom of the first, and you read, 3 different numbers in one. When you get to the second inning, now you look in column 2. So in the top of the second inning, 65, that's a potential pitcher home run. Let's check the plus minus. Let's look at the modifiers. Okay, so that he flies out. Batter number 2, 24. He could be a hit by pitch, or it could be a ground out. He grounds out. And top of the second, now again I'm looking column 2. It's a 25. That could be a splits single, or a splits homer, or anything that the rating requires it to be. Or it could be an out. So let's say it was an out. Now I go to the bottom of the second, right? I'm going to do the same thing in this column 2 of numbers, and then in inning 3, then I'm going to go to column 3, and that's how I'm going to run through the whole game. All right. Now obviously the numbers will be different because these cards will be different. Because every time you have I think 208 cards, he said, and they're all different. They all have different numbers, and so on and so forth. That's one way of doing it. Other guys just want to stay with this column 1 throughout the whole game. This game is going to be column 1, and it's always going to be a different number because you're pulling a different card. Other guys do it that way. Other guys in the next game pick column 5. They say, okay, I used column 1, and today I'm going to use column 5. Okay, so every time they pick a card, they pick column 5. So there's so many ways of doing this, all right? You also have a result for a D20 to know what the out was. So let's say it's a 23. I roll a 23, and that says out on the batter's card. Well, my next look is a D20 to know what kind of an out it is. And the outs are pretty intuitive. 1 is a ground out to pitcher. 3 is a ground out to third base or first base, depending on the side of the batter. A 4 is always a ground out to second base. A 5, again, is a ground out to first base or to third base, depending on the side of the batter. And so a 7 is a fly to left, an 8 is a fly to center, and a 9 is a fly to right. And you go through it again like that. I've memorized the quick outs chart, And so it's really easy for me, and I play super fast now because it's pretty, like I said, it's pretty intuitive. It makes sense. 13 and 15s from a right-handed batter are going to be ground outs to short, rather than a 3 and a 5 from a right-handed batter is going to be ground out to third. There's little differences like that, but believe it or not, it took me a little while to learn it, and now I learned it. So, but otherwise, right here on the bottom of the card, well, right below this matrix, this number matrix, is fly out to right. It tells you the out. So I pull this card. It says a 10. I don't even have to worry about the 10, right? I can just roll 23, boom, go to what kind of out, and then I see it's an out on the card. I go, what kind of out is this? It's a fly out to right field. Okay, and then it'll tell me fly out to right field from first to second base, fast or super fast, advance, a runner 2 unless S arm, right? An A runner 2 unless S arm. So on this fly out to right, you get an advance here if you're faster, very fast, or if you're an A runner 2 unless he's a strong arm in the outfield. So this is where you got to get used to the abbreviations in the shorthand. You got to learn that a little bit. But if you while that's happening, while you're understanding the message behind these, you get a sense of what it means, right? I see that, hey, I can tag up if I'm fast, or if I'm very fast, which is fast with an exclamation point. And then, of course, an A runner 2 unless he's an S arm in the outfield. You have an S arm, you have a weak arm, and you have an average arm. On second and third, all advance on this fly out, and on third to home, all advance on this fly out. I don't want to make this video too long, because if I do, it's hard for me to upload. It takes a long time, and so on and so forth. So I'd rather make a series of shorter videos focusing on specific things. All right, so far in the first video, I looked at the matrix, the outs matrix, and then I looked at how to use that, or one way to use that. I don't use this at all right now, but I have used it, and there's nothing wrong with using it. There's a nice variety of numbers here as you pull different cards. And again, I used to use this. I don't anymore because I memorized the quick outs chart. But this is probably easier and faster to use it this way, unless you memorize the quick outs chart. Remember, I roll 3 dice. I roll 2d6 and I roll a d20. Now, let's look at here. If it's a right-handed batter, if it's a left-handed batter right here on this outs chart, well, the out goes to second base if he's a lefty. Right? And then it gives you information on playing in. We're going to forget about that right now. We're not going to play in. We're just going to go. So this is going to be a 4-6-3 double play, but an F batter, a speedy batter, is going to beat the throw. So it's only going to be a 4-6. See that? But if there's a runner on second base, the runner advances. Makes sense. That happens 90% of the time. If there's a runner on third and your infield is back, he scores. If there's a runner on first and second, it's a double play unless your second baseman is a weak arm. Just look at the card and they'll tell you. Also, there's a chart that gives you all the defensive ratings. Only gets the fielder's choice 4-6. So he doesn't really have the arm to get it to the shortstop quick enough to allow the shortstop time to turn it into a double play. If there's first and third, fielder's choice is second, run scores. An S batter, so if he's a slow batter, it's a 4-6-3 double play. So this is really, really a great game because it gives you such a huge variety of outs, and it's all related to the actual to reason, right? Makes sense. A slower batter is probably going to hit into a double play, but a faster batter won't. And it just gives you great variety, and that really brings the game to life for me. I don't like to just write L4, L6, L4, L6, 6-3, and then that's pretty much throughout the whole game, and then fly out to center, and then that's it. This gives you all kinds of out options, and you got to kind of pay attention a little extra. So second and third, one scores, other to third on a ground ball, and a bases full, fielder's choice is second, batter out. Now, if there's infield in, of course, this would be a little bit different, and then you have to learn what infield in, he goes home. Infield in is a force at home. That's what those two mean. And you can look those up. There's two sets of, there's these cards, and then there's a larger set of charts that you can look at, and it gives you a fuller description of what it is. This is the last one I'm going to do on the outs. So I did the matrix today, and I did the outs, and next I'm going to do fielding, and I'll break this card into two parts. So pop out to shortstop. What is the white die? If the white die is a 1, it's a foul pop-up down the left or right field line. Innings 1 to 4 to third base. Innings 5 plus to first base. Pop out catcher. If it's a 2, the white die. Let's say you rolled a 52. Then not a 52, a 42. Let's say 32. Then it could be a pop out to catcher. If you rolled a 33, it could be a pop out to first base. 4, pop out to second base. 5, pop out to third base. Okay. And 6, pop out to shortstop. Pretty easy to remember. Here's 3 stars. And let me hold on a second. There's like a lot of mosquitoes out here. Let me just spray myself. They're eating me alive out here. Okay. All right. So then with these 3 little asterisks, it says if F runner can run with risk to try and score as the shortstop catches the ball during diving with his back to the plate, roll 1 die. 1 to 3 he's safe, 4 to 5 he's out. 6 calls home, runner safe, away cut. This is I'm sorry. If you're away, okay. If you're at home and you try to score, the umpire is going to call you safe. If you're away, you're going to be out. That's another way that home field advantage is worked into the game. This is Tony Porter, Cards and Dice TV, short tutorial on the FAC for Fall Classic Baseball. If you have any questions, please ask. Take care.